Now we will pay homage to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. So today we have to start the next steps. So in today's Dhamma talks, we have to explain only the way the inside knowledge appears. So we have to start with the Bhayanana. So in Bhayanana, we have many other similar things. Similar things means there are some other jnana similar to Bhayanana. Okay, here in the list, there are 3 inside knowledges. The first one is Bhayanana, the knowledge of appearance as Dara. I think you have already know this usage. Now we have another knowledge, Arinava Jnana, the knowledge of danger. Now we have the next one, Nibbida Jnana, the knowledge of disenchantment. These 3 knowledges are similar. Similar means even in the text it just mentioned. These 3 are the name of the same knowledge. So here we also have some other elaboration. It's not about the practice. It's just how does appear in the knowledge. So that means it will appear naturally. Now we have to introduce this Pali word, Bhayatupatthane Panya. So here Upatthana means manifestation or manifest. So that means it will appear naturally in our knowledge. So here we have to know one more thing. Among the inside knowledges, many of inside knowledges does not appear naturally by itself. Okay, for example, like in our practice, we may talk about nama rubas. It will not appear naturally by itself. In the very beginning, we have to try to know, try to see it. Naturally, finally, we can see clearer and clearer. This is about practice. Now here in this case, it's not about the practice, it's just appearance or appearing or occurring. So how the Tara arrives? We have one simile. So a man who wants to live in peace will be afraid of wild beasts. When we are living in the forest, if we see wild beasts or wild animals like tigers or lions or hyenas or any other dangerous animals, we will be afraid of it. Similarly, the meditator who has been seeing various states of ultimate mentalities and materialities very long time, his mind will not delight in the ultimate mentality and materialities. He also thought it's not a place to live. Similarly, he also knows that it's not worthy to be with all these types of nama rupas all the time. Although we have nama rupas, we're gonna be happy with this. Then we also have another things, afraid of poison. Of course, if we eat poison, we will die. Similarly, he may think that all the mentalities and materialities are like a poison. It just make us suffering. It cannot make us peace. Then he also have another thing. This is like afraid of thunderbolts. I think everybody knows. If there's thunderbolts, it can destroy anything. If thunderbolt strike a tree, the tree will die. If thunderbolt strikes a living beings, he will die. This is also one thing, like scare, that he will be scared of his mentalities and materialities, like a thunderbolts. He's like being afraid of thunderbolts. And being afraid of symmetry. Here we have to say one more thing about symmetry. Yeah, although I talk about symmetry, actually, this is not desirable place to live. People also thought that all the formations, mentalities, and materialities are not a good place to live. It's not a desirable place to live. Then we have one more, being afraid of battlefield. So battlefield is always gun shooting, arrow flying. It's not a desirable place or not a secure place to live. Similarly, when we know the mentalities and materialities and they are perishing very rapidly, we may feel like battlefield. We are living in a battlefield. So let me momentarily perishing all the time. We may see it every day, every night, whenever we start meditating. It cannot be a desirable object. So this is the way the way that appear in his mind. Now we also have the last things, afraid of burning charcoal. So if we live far from firewoods or fire, we can live in peace. If we get closer and closer, it will become hotter and hotter. If it's too hot or extremely hot, we are not in peace. Similarly, when we come to know about formations, mentalities, and materialities, and their causes, and their momentary arising and perishing, now we cannot feel peace. It's like a burning charcoal. So that is the first part. We have to talk about appearance in his mind. So when we talk about another example, that one is the simile of charcoal pit near the gate. So if there's a big charcoal pit near the gate of a village, when we pass by, we will be scared of that charcoal pit, burning fire. Then we must be very careful when walking nearby. If we fall down or if we slip, If we fall into it, we will die. Similarly, the fear of the Tara will arise in him when seeing momentary rise and apparition of his formations, mentalities, and materialities. Then we have another simile, the simile of 3 spikes. I think you know this one, right? Spikes. So this is the thing. Ancient time, the executioner killed the crime. So one of the spike is made of hardwood. It's very hard. If someone is attacked with this hardwood, he will die. Another one is made of iron. It is also very hard. If someone is attacked by this one, attack with this, then he will die. The last one is made of gold. The gold is very valuable, right? But all of them are the instruments or a weapon to kill living beings. So all of them are undesirable things for people then who make some problem in the community. So the main thing is, although this body is made of very valuable things, for example, right? Maybe we may wear very beautiful clothes, live in a very luxurious house, eat very valuable foods or very nutritious foods. But this body is made of mentalities and materialities. It has the nature of death. Similarly, when we come to know anicca, dukkha, anatta, it will be the same. So we have to suffer from this body, mentalities, and materialities, and their causes. This is the how the Vyatupatthana, that means the Bhayanana, the knowledge of Tara, arises or appear in the meditator's mind. Then according to contemplations, we also have 3 different things. This one is how it appears. So here the first one, contemplating as impermanent, the nimitta appears to him as Tara. Here I have to elaborate. What does it mean, nimitta? So here nimitta means all the formations, whether in the past, in the present, in the future, whatever formations are called nimitta. So when we contemplate all the formations as impermanent continuously, then it will be as a Tara. This is about nimitta. So by contemplating nature, right? Then again, contemplating as suffering, the Pavata appears to him as Tara. So that means suffering. Here I have to explain what is the meaning of Pavata. Pavata is the life or existence of a Brahma. It can be in the material realms or immaterial realms. When we come to know all the ultimate materialities and mentalities are suffering, we also know that Brahma is also suffering. We have mentalities and materialities. Okay, here I have to introduce something about suffering. Mostly when we talk about suffering, we just talk about visible suffering in the human realms. Visible suffering means we are sick, discomfort, we know it is suffering. This is visible. So when we are in the hospital, sure, people come to know that we are suffering. Similarly, we are hungry. When we are hungry, thirsty, we know it's suffering. This is actually very clear suffering. Everybody can know that kind of suffering when we encounter. But here in this case, we have invisible suffering or hidden suffering, unknown suffering. That is momentarily arising and impressions of ultimate reality. For example, in our eyes, there are many different types of ultimate materialities. They will arise and perish very rapidly. If we cannot know rise and perish, we may think, oh, my eyes is good. If we come to know they are rising and perishing very rapidly, we don't think our eyes are good. So similarly now, Brahma life is really very good compared to human life. But they also have namas or namarupas. They are also rapidly arising and perishing. That's why it's also suffering. They come to know it. Always decaying, destroying, disturbing, cheating, right? We are cheated. Oh, we have different form. But this form is made of particles. This is also one of cheating. We think, oh, my body is solid. No, it's made of particles. This is also cheating. So now we are cheated by mentalities and materialities that we know is suffering. Okay, here the main thing is contemplating as suffering. Let me contemplating ultimate reality as suffering. The Bhavata appears as Tara. The last one. Contemplating as non-self. Both Nimitta and Bhavata appear to him as Tara. Anatta is non-self. This being out of our control. No everlasting entity. No ultimate essence. This is called non-self. Okay, here we should talk about emptiness again, and one more. In Bali we call it sunyata. So arising and perishing is empty. Finally, we just know only perishing state. No more horizon is empty, empty, empty. When we come to know the nature of non-self, all the formations is also empty. All the lives in Brahma world is also empty. Then there's a Tara. This is not a good place to live. This body, this aggregate is not a good place to survive or to continue. Then this is based on the contemplation. The main thing is, in the practical practice, we must keep contemplating the perishing state of ultimate reality. That means, for example, when we are going to practice Namarupa methods, ultimate mentalities and materialities, okay, we will discern ultimate mentality as anicca, dukkha, anatta. First, we must know ultimate mentality and their rising and perishing. If we can discern very well or very clear, finally, we will know only the perishing state. We cannot know rising state anymore. Keep this discerning perishing state as impermanent, anicca, anicca, dukkha, anatta, like this. Then finally, all these types of fear can arise in our minds. It can appear naturally. We cannot create. We don't need to use any of special energy to create it. It will appear naturally. That's why here we use the Pali word, Bhayatupatthani Panya. The Taras, and it appears to him as a Tara. Then we have many other statements, but we have to move another inside knowledge. Adinava. So the one in the very beginning, we have already talked about the knowledge of danger, seeing as danger. This is called Adinava Jnana. What's it really called Adinava Jnana? Actually, it just mentions how it appears. It doesn't mention how to practice in this part also. But there are many other things to explain. But anyway, I will say as much as I can because it will be too many for the listeners. The first one is the upada, arising. Arising is also one of the danger for him. He may see arising as a danger. Not only that, no arising is a secure or safe or peace. So he will know both of them. Arising is danger. No arising is secure or safe. Then again, we also have another one, pavada, occurrence. So occurrence is, this is danger. Non-occurrence is secure. He may understand like that. Then we may have nimitta, sign. That means the sign of formation. Nimitta is, there's a formation, right? I have already said formation. Formation is danger, in danger. Then non-formation is secure. So his mind can know both of them. And finally, ayuhana, accumulation. Of course, we may accumulate many of good and bad actions, good and bad things that can produce new life. If we accumulate, we are in danger. If we don't accumulate anymore, that means after attaining a hardship, no more wholesome, no more unwholesome, it's only abhyagata. Neither wholesome nor unwholesome. So no more accumulation is secure and safe. He may feel like that. He also come to know like this. This is also Adinava Jnana. Then another one is Patisandhi, reverse. We all have known what is called reverse, right? This is the very beginning of life. If there's a beginning of life, there must be the end of the life. Then reward is in danger, then no reward is secure. Then we also have gati, destiny. As long as we have karma, we also have defilements, then there will be new existence, new destiny. We call in Pali gati. So if we have this kind of, any kind of life, so it is in danger. We have to, if we are born, we have to pass away. We have to suffer again. That is one thing. If there's no more gati, no more life, no more rebirth, no more destinies, it is happiness. So again, we have nipati. Nipati means generation. So here actually, generation means after rebirth, it will generate Namarupas whole life. Then it will be again suffering. So no more generation is peace or secure. Then we also have upapati, re-arising. If we pass away from this life, in the next life we have to restart as a new person. This is called re-arising, similar to rebirth, similar to destiny, similar to generation. So, if there's a no more re-arising, is the peace. Then we have birth, jati. If there's a rebirth, so there's no rebirth also, then rebirth is in danger, then no more birth is secure. Not only that, we also can know, like agent. If there's a rebirth, there must be agent. If there's an agent, it will be in danger. If no more agent, it's secure, calm and peace. Similarly, sickness. If there's a sickness, there must be non-sickness. Sickness is in danger, undesirable. Then no sickness is desirable, is peace and happiness. Then death. So if we have to pass away, this is the end of the life, then we'll be reborn, we have to pass away again and again in every life. The death is in danger. If there's no more death, it's secure, safe, peaceful. As you have already known that Nibbana is deathless, no more death. Then in our lifetime, we also have like grief, in Pali soka. So if we have grief, there must be no more grief. The grief is suffering, no more grief is happiness. Now, we can also understand another way. Grief is in danger, no more grief is secure. Similarly, lamentation. When we have to give up or we have to lose our family member, friends, or relatives, earning money or something happen to us, there will be lamentation. So if there's lamentation, there will be no more lamentation. Here we can also understand lamentation is in danger, no more lamentation is secure. Then if lamentation is suffering, no lamentation is happiness. We can also understand like this. Similarly, upayasa, you have already know upayasa means despair. If there's no more despair, it's happiness. Similarly, we can also understand many other things, for example, like hatred, anger, all the things can be considered the same. If we have all this kind of mental pain, we are in danger. We are unsecure. If we can overcome all these things, we are secure. We are in peace. So this is the way appear in the meditator's mind. So if you wish to know more in detail, you can study all these things in this Abhidhamma. It will be very many things in detail. But we also have other explanation here. The one with the last part, today's Dhamma talk. So this one is another simile. Banyan charcoals, pit is three kinds of life. There's a one simile mentioned in the Asivisopama Sutta. In one of the Myanmar scholar represents this one as Adinavanyana. And so like his idea. That's why I just use this one. So you may have read one suttas in Samyutta Nikaya we call Asivisopama Sutta. Okay, I will introduce the suttas briefly. So the first thing is like a story. In the very beginning, I have to say the story, right? Then later I have to explain the discourse. So there is a man. He had to take care of 4 snakes. Then these 4 snakes are very poisonous. Then one day, one of the men, knowing the problem of this snake, reminded him, if one of these snakes bite you, you will die. Then the king asked him to take care of all these snakes. He don't wish to do, he does not wish to do, he ran away. That's why the king asked 5 killers, 5 men to follow him. Then the reminder also remind him, so stop now. 4 snakes are also following you. 5 other people are also following you to kill. Then he ran away. Then the king also asked one of his previous friends. That means the one who ran away, he has a friends. We can also say false friends to follow him. If the 5 men cannot kill, his false friends can kill him. That's why he also sent him, follow your friends. Then wherever you see, kill him. Then he wandered into a an empty village. That means abandoned village. So abandoned village, then he couldn't find anything. Whatever house he entered is empty. Nobody there, no foods, no furnitures, everything is empty. Then there are some other people. I mean, they are like village plunderers. They trying to destroy the village. Then they also follow him. He ran away and he follow him. Finally, he find a very wide river, and he make rafts. If there's no other ferry boat, he had to make raft by himself. He crossed over the river. No other enemies. He only has the snakes, the 5 killers, 5 bandits, we can also say. Then some other animal or other enemies cannot follow him anymore. He is in a secure place. So similarly now, we also have to talk about similar things here. The first one is burning charcoal pits. There's 3 kinds of lives. Actually, it doesn't mention in the sutras, but this one's one, the Myanmar scholar, and he copied it from other sutras. Anyway, so now we have, 4 snakes are 4 elements. So when we have 4 elements, if one of the elements become very excessive, we can die anytime. If one of the elements become very weak also, we can die. That is why 4 elements are like us, 4 snakes. Then we have another one, 5 executioners. The king sends 5 executioners to follow the man to kill. These are 5 brigades. So 5 brigades are executioners. We have to die in every single moment, in every single nanosecond. So, as we have known that after descending vibration states very clearly, we can experience this Adinava Jnana, the knowledge of danger. So here, the 5 brigades, for example, material brigades, it will rise and perish very rapidly. Now in this stage, we will see only perishing stage. Every single moment is perishing. Momentary death. So our life is very long. Then compared to our life, now 1 day, 2 days is shorter. After that, if we talk about only 1 morning, afternoon, evening, 3 periods in 1 day, it will become shorter. Then, if we have to survive only maybe a few hours, a few seconds, it becomes shorter. Even 1 minute process is shorter than 1 minute. We can also understand like 1 nanosecond maybe. 1 minute process is maybe shorter than 1 nanosecond. So it's perishing. Now 1 rupa kalapas, the lifespan of rupa kalapas is equal to 79 moments. Maybe it can be like a nanosecond or shorter than a nanosecond. So every single moment, material aggregates are Persian, just seeing Persian. They're like executioners, killing every single moment. Although we don't kill, they themselves die. That's why, metaphorically, the word I use, 5 brigades are 5 executioners. Now we also have like a Banyan Village. Here we say 6 internal bases. These are called a Banyan Village. What are called 6 internal bases? We have already know eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. These are called 6 internal bases. It's like an empty village. We may see something, but it's like empty. For example, we may see a beautiful flower. Actually, beautiful flower is also rising in perishing. It is also made of particles. All the particles will perish every single moment, every single second, shorter than a second, maybe nanosecond. So it's empty. Although we think it's a flower, it's small particles, empty. Similarly, when we hear something, it's combinations of earth elements predominant clappers. Earth element predominant clapper will strike each other, it produces the sound. If there's no earth elements, no more. No more striking, no more sounds. It's also empty. They will perish very rapidly. Then smell, taste, touch, thoughts. It will be empty. It's like abandoned village. Then we have another example. 6 bandits, 6 internal bases. That means, I have already said, village plunderer, those who destroy the village. So these 6 bandits are 6 external bases. Oh, sorry, previous one is internal base, now this is external base, sorry. So, internal base and external base, both are empties. Because they have relationship, our eyes show it's made of particles. External objects, sound, smell, everything is also made of particles. They will perish very rapidly without realizing. Right? After that, gradually, it for like a flower. Gradually, it will become wither. It will wither, no more beauty. Finally, it will dry up, no more beauty. Gradually decay. Maybe if we keep a flower in the water, maybe we can maintain 2 or 3 days, 7 days, something like that. After that, it will spoil naturally. So the main thing is, we all have all the internal bases and external bases. When we have eyes, we may see the objects. We have ear, we may hear the sound. Nose, we have nose, we smell something. When we have a tongue, we may taste something. We have body, we can feel sensation or touching. We have mind, we have a thought. But all the things are going to rise and perishing. Very rapid perishing in this stage. Then we cannot know the essence of all these things. This one is called empty. Then we also have one more thing, Banyan Village. It's like the abode of living beings. So we all live in the samsara. Now we are human beings. We live in the human realms, human existence. This is also like a burning fire, a burning village. Because we are bound by attachment, hatred, pride, jealousy, stinginess, many defilements. Not only that, we are bound by aging, sickness, death, sorrow, lamentation, and despair. All are also burning. Not only in our realms, in the Deva realms, as divine beings, we also have to suffer the same. Not much different for us. Of course, compared to human lifespan, their lifespan is better. We have to work very hard. They can live easily, peacefully, comfortably, but they also have suffering. They also have the jealousy, hatred, stinginess. They also have attachment. If they are going to pass away, they also have sorrow, lamentation, no more happiness at the time. But for about Brahma realms, they may not have that kind of sorrow or lamentations or anything, but they still have rise and apparition. They still have attachment to their life. So these are called the practice. Sorry, these are called the Banyan Village. Then we also have to know something here. If we come to see only the apparition stage, then our knowledge will change gradually. As I already talked about, the way they see the danger. Then similarly, we also have another knowledge. Here I will not talk about it. That was a Nibbida Jnana, disenchantment. The knowledge of disenchantment. In the very beginning, I have already said, these are the name of the same things. So the mind cannot delight in the formations, namarupas. As we have already said before, for example, horizons is disenchantment. This is not, it doesn't have a place to live. Then if there's a no more horizon, it will be desirable place. Similarly, we also have to talk about pavada, occurrence. If there's an occurrence, then we also have suffering, is not desirable place. If there's no more occurrence, that is desirable place for us. Similarly, nimitta, sign. I have list out in previous knowledge, Bhayanana. So similarly, when we talk about Nibbida Jnana, disenchantment, nimitta, the sign is the sign of formation. Ayurvana, accumulation. Accumulation means accumulating wholesome, unwholesome, all the things that can produce new life. These are not desirable things to do. After knowing all the apparition states, it will appear in our knowledge naturally. Then rewards, destiny, generation, re-rising. All these things are also undesirable. Then if we are free from all these things, it will be desirable. Then we also have many other things to explain, but here we have one special simile. The golden swan will delight in the beautiful lake. It will not like or delight in the dirty lake, we can say like that. Similarly, the lion will not be happy in the cage. But if he can live in a very wide forest, like Himalaya, he will be happy. Then, as a meditator, if we come to know Persian states every day, every night, and every single moment, we cannot be happy and delight in aggregates, bases, elements, or namarupas. Our mind will incline to nibbana, secure place, safe place, more and more. This is the way all these Abhidhamma jnana appear in the practice. So here we just have to say very simple things. After that, there will be 3 more insight knowledges. So today we cannot talk about the practice because this knowledge does not explain anything about practice. It just mentions how it appears in the meditator's mind. It just mentions very simple way of appearance. But here actually is very messy. When you go and read Visuddhimagga also, it will be very messy. When you go and read Samhita, it will be very messy. Many things to be explained here. But the main thing is, if we have attained or if we are practicing the Banyan, the knowledge of operation, this knowledge can be within one sitting. I explained 3 insight knowledges. These 3 insight knowledge can arise within 1 hour, maybe shorter than that, within a few minutes, within a few seconds. It's possible. It doesn't mean we have to create, to appear all these things in our minds. It will happen naturally. So, in the practical practice, we just need to know Persian states of namas, mentalities, rupa, materialities, and the aggregates. We have 5 aggregates, 12 bases, 80 elements, also dependent origination factors. We can contemplate all these things as anicca, dukkha, anatta. Our duty is only one thing, to see Persian states of namarupas, contemplate them as anicca, dukkha, anatta. Try to see the 5 aggregates, then contemplate them. So try to know the Persian state of 5 aggregates, one by one, then contemplate them as anicca, dukkha, anatta. Or we can also discern all the 5 aggregates together, their Persian states, then contemplate them as anicca, dukkha, anatta. Similarly, 12 bases, 18 elements. We have only duties, we have only responsibilities to contemplate all these ultimate realities systematically, only impermanence, suffering, non-self is enough. If we can know clearer and clearer, finally, if we try to know, when we are contemplating anicca, we can also come to know dukkha anatta naturally. If we are contemplating dukkha, we can also understand anicca and anatta naturally. If we are contemplating only anatta, we can also understand anicca and dukkha naturally. All these things will happen naturally. We don't need to create. So today, I think it's enough for today. So may you all be able to practice the 3 trainings, Sila, Samadhi, Panya, and may you all be able to realize the end of suffering as a result of 3 trainings.
Seattle, in the last Dhamma talk and also today's Dhamma talk, Seattle's mentioned about the higher Vipassana Jnana from Banga, Udayava Jnana stage until Anuloma Jnana. So for a meditator, how could he check which Jnana has already matured? And each accomplishment of each level of the jnana, what is the function, what is the effects to the meditator?
Okay, so for about Banyan Jnana, actually we have one quality. We also can talk about this quality. The main thing is, I have always said now, within 1 minute, within a few minutes, we can also, after Banyan Jnana, everything will be very fast. For Banyan Jnana, sure, I have always said, we have to know only the preparation states. There's also something, you can also see the kalapas, you can see only ultimate reality and so forth. I have explained last week, right? Then, for other things, now today's explanation, actually no other practice. Just it will appear in mind naturally. But for about higher jnana, higher than that, next Dhamma talk about practice again. There's a special practice, right? So if you cannot attain Nibbana, although you can do some version stage very long time, you can move to the next steps by yourself. It will become obvious. Okay?
If someone just, as one day say, contemplating this Bhaya and danger, Abhidhamma, he will feel that mind is without any meaning. And if a person has not been meditating until that stage, then if he think like that, means with this sanya, Abhidhamma sanya and Bhaya sanya, will his mind, will his life become very pessimist? And how to balance his mind in daily life, how to pay attention in daily life so that it will not be so pessimistic.
Actually, pessimist is a little bit different, right? That means here in this case, if you don't have inside knowledge, you cannot experience. So if you just trying to think that, oh, is my life is meaningless like this, right? Then sure, it can be called pessimist. The main thing is you must know nama rupas. You can balance your mind. If you just think about only bad things of life, sure, it can be pessimist. So pessimist and inside knowledge are 2 different things, right? It's totally opposite. Yeah, I have already said, you may dislike the arising of nama rupas. You may not be happy with nama rupas, right? But if you are paying attention to it all the time, it will happen. But for other things, for example, like a Visakha, Anatha Pindika, they have family. They don't have this problem. They are not pessimists, right?
Third question is from Dhammisado. In Mahabharata Sutta mentioned that the Buddha practiced Dakhan and Anupasadakhan. Then by practicing Mahavipassana, he determined to enter Jivitasankhalam concentration. In this way, the Buddha was able to suppress his suffering and was able to extend his lifespan. Could Sayadaw explain about the practice of Rupasadakhan, Anupasadakhan, Mahavipassana, Jivitasankhalam concentration? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
It's a very heavy topic, right? Okay. Rupa Sadaka, I will summarize Rupa Sadaka. It's not that easy, right? Okay. First, I will introduce one by one. The first one is Adana Nikipana Rupas. This is about Rupa Sadaka, right? Adana Nikipana Rupas means in one life from rebirth to death, all the ultimate materialities, then trying to contemplate all of them, Nitya Dukkha Anatta. This is one way. Another one is we can divide 100 years lifespan into 3 periods. So the first age, the second age, the last age. So we have to contemplate the first age Rupa as Anicca Dukkha Anatta. Similarly, second age Rupa as Anicca Dukkha Anatta. The last age Rupa as Anicca Dukkha Anatta. This is it, the next one. Then we gradually, I will summarize. Gradually, we may have like 33 years in one lifespan. So 33 years divided into 3 periods, right? In 100 years divided into 3 periods, 33 years in each. Okay, there will be 3 more months, right? I mean 33 years and 4 months. Then just trying to contemplate all the Namarupas, all the Rupas, the first period, second and third periods like that. Then again, we may have like 5 periods, 20 years in every single, 20 years in one period. Similarly, 10 years in one period. Gradually, we may have like 2 years, 1 year, gradually. Finally, 3 months, 2 months. So 100 years might divide into many, many periods. Up to in one walking, so in one steps, when you walk, so when you are lifting, moving forwards, or releasing, and press, maybe lowering down, pressing on the ground, something like that. In every single period, you have to know Rupas. This is about, okay, next one, Vayavada Changama. Then, okay, another one is Aharamaya. Aharamaya means when you are hungry and when you are satiated. There can be 2 different types of Rupas. So when you are hungry, your Rupas will be weak. After eating, it will become active. There will be more Rupas. So that means all the Rupas produced by Gamma, Theta, temperature, or nutriment will be different after eating and before eating. You must know all these periods in every single day, every single period. Like this. Then similarly, Uddumaya Rupas. Temperature produces next one, right? Uddumaya Rupas means temperature produces materialities. So then when hot and when cold, Rupas are functioning differently. We have to recognize all these things, trying to know in detail, contemplate that as Anicca Dukkha Anatta. This is called Uddumaya Rupas. Then again, Kamaja Rupas. This is also Kama produce materialities. They will arise and perish without changing one door to another door. For example, iron translucency will arise only in the eyes. It cannot go to ear, nose, tongue, something like that. So now Chitta Samutthana Rupa. mind produce. When happy and when unhappy, rupas are functioning differently. So we have to know two different types of materialities. So contemplate that as anicca dukkha anatta. Finally, Dhammata rupas. Dhammata rupas mean natural rupas. It can be trees, forests, mountain, any non-living things. We must know temperature, pressure, materialities, and we have to contemplate them as anicca dukkha anatta. This is called rupa sattaka. So similarly, arupa sattaka will be 7 ways, right? Okay. I will summarize the first part. There are many different types of discernment. For example, we have to know rupas, then contemplate as anicca, then inside knowledge also anicca. Okay, here I will give 4, right? This one will take rupa as object. Then this one will take previous inside knowledge as object. Then the third one will take the second one. The fourth one will take the third one. So many different steps of inside knowledges, trying to discern many different steps and contemplate that as anicca dukkha anatta and something like that. It will be very messy, right? Anyway, so for many beginners, it's not very easy to understand all these kind of things. That's why I want to explain very much in detail. Okay, so next one.
Question 4 is There Sayadaw under Bhayatupassana Panya Sayadaw mentioned many kinds of afraid. Does this afraid arise as fear and worry in the mind or arise as wisdom? How should one balance between this afraid and wisdom in order not to fall into extremist? Thank you, Sayadaw. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, here I have no choice to use this word. That's why I just use afraid. But in reality, it's not like afraid. This means undesirable. It will appear in him as undesirable. It will appear to him as undesirable, like this, right? So that's why I just use afraid. Because in Pali, it's just called Bhaya. That's why I use afraid. But in reality, it's not really scary or something like this. This is called Jnana Bhaya, knowledge. If Jnana Bhaya is not scary. Okay?
Question 5 is Dear Sayadaw, can we reflect on the topics Sayadaw explained today to arise the sense of urgency in order to meditate diligently? Thank you, Sayadaw. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, so from time to time, we can also reflect, sure. To have a sense of urgency, it can be supporting cause of our practice, sure. Okay? Next one.
The sixth question is Vandami Sayadaw. Could Sayadaw explain the benefits of practicing Rupasattaka and Arupasattaka? What are the defilements derived by practicing Rupasattaka and Arupasattaka? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, so in the very beginning of mental process, I have already explained the competitiveness. So if we can practice Rupasattaka and Arupasattaka, especially Arupasattaka will be more effective. We can overcome, we can also, okay, especially here, offsetted competitiveness. Offset competitiveness, subset competitiveness. That means different mind moment will take different objects. We can know it clearly, then we can overcome that competitiveness. This is a very clear benefit. Okay?
Vandami Sayadaw, just as Sayadaw mentioned about this Adinava Jnana, there is this Upada and Pavata. What are the difference between Upada and Pavata? Pavata, does that means again, arise again and again, or arise one after another? This is the first part of the question.
Okay, so we can also understand another way. These are his synonym. You can also understand like that, right? They are synonym.
So second part of the question, if a Buddhist after learning the pariyatti and meditation from a monk, then he start to organize meditation class or this mindfulness class to earn money by collecting fees. Does the Buddha allow this type of behavior? Is that allowable?
Okay, sure. Buddha will not agree this kind of Buddha will not agree this kind of thing, sure. Because Buddhism is not for money, it's not for marketing, right? Not for business. That's why we must not be commercialized, right? We should not commercialize. If we commercialize like this, then sure, it will destroy the sasana.
When a yogi practices and experiences these three knowledges that he knows clearly, he experiences the three knowledges without his teacher explaining to him. Does this knowledge last when a yogi stops meditating for a long period of time?
Okay, in this case, for some meditator, I have already said within a few minutes it can appear. That's fine. Sometimes they may not know it appear, right? Their knowledge become very fast, very rapid. Then it cannot be very clear to them, but they can go to higher knowledge like this. After Pankanyana, after Persian states, within one finger snaps, you can attain past and future knowledge anytime. You can also understand like that. So, sure. If you have experienced all these things, you are very close to Nibbana. If you cannot attain Nibbana, so try again and again. So, the main thing is to just keep discerning Persian states. Don't think about all the experiences. Okay?
In daily life, when he calm down, he always feel the life is full of fear. How to overcome this fear, and what meditation subject should she practice to overcome this fear?
Actually, if you have a lot of fear, it will be better for you to practice metta meditation. So when you can practice metta very well, you may feel safe and secure. For your confidence, you can also do Buddhanussati. But mostly I recommend to practice metta. It will be much more beneficial for you. Okay?
And this question is related to Vinaya. Uchayasayana, Mahasayana. This Mahasayana, does that mean the area of the bed, big beds, or very big beds? Does that large bed? Does that mean the area? And for high beds, what is the requirement? Does that include the mattress? How about, for example, 1.5 meter wide? Does this bed consider allowable in terms of Vinaya?
Okay, here I have to introduce Vinaya again, right? Uchasayana means, it's like regarding very high coats or very high bands, high beds, we can say like that. But one more thing here is a mattress, A mattress is very thick or very high. Then, if belong to lay person, bhikkhu can use. If belong to bhikkhu, we cannot use. This is the one thing we have to know. Then, another one is like a Ucha and Maha. I have to analyze this too. So, we can also understand another way, very luxurious place is also called. For example, like a mattress, also no mattress, like a carpet. A carpet is a very, very high, very long hair, very high. Then this one is a very luxurious, then we cannot use. This is called Ujasayana. The another one is like a made of cotton wool. Mattress is made of cotton wool. This one is also very luxurious. We cannot use. This is one thing. Another Mahasayana is actually, ancient time the king also used some throne or some bed or bench a court, they sit. Many decorations, there are the decorate with like a tiger, lion, elephants in the leg of the throne. All these kind of decorations can be considered as Mahasayana. This is very valuable, also high standards, right? Like using like the king. That's why the Lord didn't allow that kind of things. Okay, so Ujjasana Mahasana is not very wise. It doesn't mean very wise. It means very luxurious. Okay, this one. Okay.
Bandami Bandi, what is different between Nana and Sana in Vipassana? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, you mean and Jnana and Sanya maybe, right?
Yes. Sorry about that.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, I can understand that. The Jnana means the knowledge. Okay, we can also understand the wisdom. Sanya means perceptions. Okay, the first one is Sanya is like a marking. We're trying to mark something. We're trying to like a memory. Sanya give me like a memory. Panya, Jnana is not memory. This is like a elaborations, analyzings, knowing many things in detail is called Jnana. So these two are different, right? Sanya means marking, then Jnana means knowing everything in detail. This is called Jnana.
In Panga Jnana stage, the so-called Panga and Pavatta means arising. Panga and Pavatta. The meaning of Pavatta here, the step means the perishing again and again.
Okay, one more thing here, right? When we talk about Banyan Jnana, I also talk about Pavatta again. At the time, I have different Pavatta. Pavatta means the arisings, because of the causes, the result arise, the effect arise, we can say like that. This is also called Pavatta. In the case of Banyan Jnana, all these Pavatta appear. This is one thing. One thing means we cannot design cause and effect relationship in the Banyan Jnana. Even I have explained this one in last week. So here Pavatta will be different. Okay.
Next question is from Dami Bandi. Just now the question on the Mahapalabhana Sutta, it mentioned the Buddha practices Rupa and Arupa Sataka, Mahavipassana and Vitasakalaha. The Buddha was able to. How did Buddha achieve this? Could we practice the same way to expand our life? I think you have answered that yet. Yeah.
Okay, this one is not that simple, right?
Xiadu, what is the difference between cleverness and jnana? Thank you, Xiadu.
Clever knowledge. Clever, we don't know in Pali, right? Okay, clever can be many different things. Clever means because of practicing, because of your training too much, then you become clever. Because of experience, you become clever. This is the one thing. What about jnana? Actually, there are many different types of jnana. Right? Clever is because of instructions or because of listening to other people, we can be clever. But what about jnana? There can be many, even in, I think we have 72 types of jnana, I think we have in Sambhidhamma. So, too much. So what's the difference? Sure. As long as I don't have any Pali words for cleverness, I cannot answer the one, right?
How was the Buddha able to extend his lifespan, and can a lay person practice in the same way to extend his lifespan?
Okay, this question, many times this question is asked to me. Actually, when you go and read Mahaparinibbana Sutta, you can find only the Buddha can do it. Because this is he's already practiced Etipada, Etipada means the base or the foundations of power. You can also say like a controlling faculties. he could practice very well. That's why he's master of all these things. Then he can extend his lifespan by himself, by entering into fruition attainment. Because we call Ayupalaka Samapati, right? Life sustainment, attainment. He can enter that kind of things. So we ordinary people cannot do like this. Maybe we can do some other special dana or special wholesome accumulations possible to sustain our life. Not like a Buddha, sure. Okay. Ita cha amehi sambadam punya sambadam sabbe deva numodandu sabbe Buddha numodandu sabbe saddha numodandu sabba sampati siddhiya idam me nyadinam hotu sukhita hondu nyadeyo idam me nyadinam hotu Sukhita hondu nyadeyo idam me nyadinam hotu Sukhita hondu nyadeyo idam me punyam asawekaya waham hotu idam me punyam nibbanasa pajayo hotu mama punya bhagam sabbasadanam bhajemi te sabbe me samam punya bhagam lavanju sadhu sadhu.